Bye, Julie.
Excellent. So let's do a minor league baseball teardown.
My white whale.
What's the URL for this?
It is MiLBstore.com.
Got it. All right, I've got a screencast going. I've got MiLBstore.com open in front of me. I'm looking at the homepage. What am I doing here? What am I shopping for today?
All right, so this is the store for minor league baseball. For those of you that don't know what minor league baseball is, there's all the baseball teams that you know in all the big cities, the 30 Major League Baseball teams. Each of those teams has 5 or 6 different minor league affiliates that are guys that are coming up, that are younger, or that will never be in the majors, but they play in smaller towns across America. Unfortunately, there is no minor league baseball this year due to COVID. They've just decided to cancel it, and I'm going to give no comment on that. And the people that watch the videos know I like buying shirts from them because it's all these weird team names and weird logos, and I always think they're very fun. If you're watching the video today, I'm wearing my Staten Island Pizza Rats shirt, which is not an actual team. It was a promo the Staten Island Yankees did. So the MiLB store was terrible for many years. 5 years ago, even up until last year, it was built on top of Cold Fusion. It was horrendous. It was one of the worst stores I've ever interacted with in my life. And I made it my mission to get it on Shopify because I think it should have been on Shopify, to the point where I was finding people that worked at Shopify at Unite and being like, hey, we should work together and get MiLB as a single entity on one single store for all the 150 different teams. There should just be one store that's a clearinghouse. And they kind of like backed away from me and were very frightened by me because I was too excited. But
yeah, this 6'4" monster of man just comes out of nowhere and goes, hey, you work at Shopify, right? We got to get the MLB on Shopify. We got to do it. Okay. That's what they saw. It's just you towering over them, yelling about the MiLB store. They're like, I have to go. I have to stand over here now.
But anyway, so in like April, I loaded up the store to look at if there was any cool new stuff to buy. And lo and behold, it was a brand new store on Shopify. They went and did it without me. Those jerks, how dare they? I'm very mad about it. So we're going to be looking at this store. And I think the interesting thing to look at is, let's think about this. There are 150 different teams.
Okay.
Let's say each team has 50 products? So if there are 150 teams and each team has 50 products, that is a 7,500 product catalog.
It's a beefy store.
And it's more than that.
I scrolled to the bottom of the site, and it does not have an accessibility statement.
Oh, that's bad. No good.
In fact, I'm just going to search Control F. No, and no accessibility app. Ooh,
they're in trouble.
Yeah, I would do something about that one quickly. Okay, so I'm on the homepage. I'm at the top of the page.
I think the key here is let's hover over. First thing, make sure your screen's wide enough because this thing hamburgers really fast. If you get below 1,300 pixels, it hamburgers.
Okay. I'm at 1920 by 1080 for the sake of the screencast.
All right. Hover over Shop by Team.
Yeah.
So there's your problem.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. There are 6 columns. Each column has how many items in it?
I don't know.
Many. And the whole list is at 14-point font.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest. I think this is a good way of doing it.
It has the little icons on there, which I think is nice.
Yeah. When you have this many teams, I can't think of a better way of doing it. You could search for caps. I mean, you could hover the other ones. You know, it's like men, women, kids, caps, novelties, collections. Whatever.
But realistically, I'm shopping by team, aren't I?
I think the better thing, and this is that bar on top, it's shop by affiliation. So click on shop by affiliation.
It's a button at the top of this drop-down menu, shop by affiliation.
I think it should be more prominent. Even.
It should be, well, if this is like the easiest, best way to do it, and a majority of people do it, it should be a parent element in the main menu. And it could even be a button like, hey, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 9 items in the main menu. Oh my gosh! And they all make sense. But if there's one obvious one, and you've got kind of a big harder to navigate catalog. I was going to say confusing. It's not really confusing. There's just a lot to it. So this was not an easy task for anybody. I'm not envious of whoever had to figure this out.
No, and that was the thing. Every time I ranted about it in the office, you were like, "How are you going to do it? Do you understand? It's like herding cats. It's 150 different companies doing business as one company."
Yeah, no, it's a weird scenario. Okay, so shop by affiliation. If it's a good experience, that button should just be in the main menu. Could be the first thing. So I'll click that guy.
So I think this is the way to do it. All right, let's say I'm a White Sox fan. If I'm a White Sox fan, here are all the MLB teams, all their minor league affiliates, and I could say, well, I want to be a cool hipster White Sox fan and have gear from their minor league teams. So I think that's the way to do it. And the icons do these little bounce things. That's cool. You could flip between the AL and the NL. So we could just pick a White Sox team. Let's pick the Kannapolis Cannonballers. And then we're in the Kannapolis.
Under Shopify, you lost me. I've got my filter. Shopify Affiliation has this cool filter at the top. American League or National League?
Yeah.
Which one?
AL, the one you're already on.
All right.
And you see the White Sox?
Yes.
All right, now click on the Kannapolis Cannonballers under the White Sox because we are hypothetical White Sox fans.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, and all right, so then when I land on the collection for the Cannonballers, it's got a nice banner across the top that matches. There was a ribbon or a banner that just disappeared on me. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was like a shipping
Sign up for emails and score 10% off. And then eventually it went away?
Yeah, it's weird. It bounces around.
Okay.
So here you have your general Cannonballer gear, and I'm going to get in a little weeds here to tell you how they did this. So you have on the left, I think this is very well done. This column on the left side, you have brand. Who cares about brand? I don't care if it was made by Nike or New Era. Who gives a shit?
Some people will have especially if you buy a lot of sports gear, you probably, especially and sizing is the thing. You're like, I've got this one shirt or jersey that it fits well, it feels good, I like it. So for people who buy a lot of sports apparel, they could have opinions on brand.
All right. But then you get department. You got all the different kinds of things that they sell. You could narrow it down by infants, kids, men, women, toddlers, that sort of stuff. And I think, cap type, I think that's really good. And the way they did this is, let's click on t-shirts on that left rail on the bottom. This is all tag based. So we're just in the collection we're in is the Kannapolis Cannonballers collection.
And it's filtered by tag.
And this is all just filtering by tag.
So what theme do you think they built this on?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm assuming it's entirely custom because this Snow Commerce company it was built by a company called Snow Commerce. I think they're pretty fancy, so maybe they did it all themselves. I don't know.
Well, should I include? I'll include Snow Commerce in our show notes. Why not?
I hate them, but in the nicest way. They're my nemesis, where it's we're frenemies.
I don't think they know that or care.
They don't. No. But they also did the Star Trek store.
Ooh.
Which obviously I'm also very
That's on the short list after Lego.
Yeah.
So I will say, all right, you're right. This is in Shopify, you could filter collection by tag easily. And then you could do a sidebar, powered off link lists if you wanted to. That's what they've got going here. The limitation here is it's all mutually exclusive. You can only pick one thing at a time.
No. Because if you click, so we have
okay.
You're on the Kannapolis. You click department.
Oh, it does. I see.
Right?
Yeah, it'll add a second tag to it.
And you can add a second tag. It'll just put plus and then add shop for men.
But
and now you only get the men's t-shirts.
And it popped me into sorry, there's no products available at this time. And it has a cool GIF. And then weirdly, they did an embed from Giphy. So if you hover over it, it's like an ad for Giphy and other GIFs. Probably should have just put the GIF in there natively. But I like that we do a cute thing. What would work? The way to upgrade this is use an app, product filter and search by booster apps. We've used that in a couple stores. I like it a lot. We could have that. That would make this filter be a lot saner because it out of the box. You could do collapsible menus. You can have it. There's different selection types. It's much more obvious and that you're doing combining filters, and it'll show you it'll automatically remove combos that have 0 products. It would work like this, but better.
It worked fine for me.
No!
I was on T-shirts and then clicked Shop for Men, and it only gave me the men's shirts.
All right, so I've got...
I thought this worked out great using only the stock Shopify tools.
All right, fine.
The name of this theme, by the way, is MiLB Team Version 2.3. So that sounds like a custom theme to me.
All right. Which shirt should I pick?
Well, apparently the name of the Cannonballers mascot is Boomer, so they're selling OK Boomer tees.
Oh, look at that.
Which is pretty fun. I like this red roundel tee, the first one. I like that a lot.
I don't see an OK Boomer tee. Oh, there it is. I'm clicking the OK Boomer tee.
All right.
I don't see product reviews on... Yeah, there's no product reviews on this thing.
Well, and I think it's a very long tail. There's a lot of products, but I don't think a lot of products sell a lot.
And especially if you're using like print on demand. Like this OK Boomer shirt is clearly a mock-up. And with a catalog this big, like I don't blame them. Trying to printed photograph all of these would be a nightmare in itself.
Well, and that was the problem before. I mean, it was clearly like a person in the Kannapolis Intimidator Stadium store with an iPhone camera taking photos of like the t-shirts, and they were all different aspect ratios. It was horrendous. It was truly like 1997 level was the old store. So this is a gigantic improvement.
Okay. And so knowing that like they're coming from this outdated platform and they've got a big catalog to deal with, we have to cut some slack on anything that's like would involve touching every single product. Like you just have to try and do as much in a database or a CSV as you can. So the product, I'm looking at the OK Boomer tee, and there's a few issues. So I notice at the end of the product description, it just says item number, and then there's no item number. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like clearly that was a mistake. Probably just supposed to show the SKU, right? But
that is not in the description. That's its own entity. So that has just been like not entered for that product, or the liquid's wrong or something.
Okay. Yeah. So that's an easy fix, but it's a bug in the template. I've got social share buttons directly under the product form. Nothing could make me crazier.
And social share buttons above.
No, those aren't share buttons. Those are just links to MiLB.
Those are links to. Oh God.
Yeah. So I don't want all these links that are like, hey, go to these other networks you're addicted to when I'm this close to making a purchase decision.
And so as someone struggling with these shirts, I bought some of these shirts. Like my Lehigh Valley Iron Pig shirt is too small for me because they don't have
a size guide.
Sizing guides.
Nothing. There's no size info at all.
I mean, I'm sure their biggest sellers here are all apparel related.
Of course.
You need to have a sizing guide.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so like that's like conversion rate optimization wise, you want to start with busting objections. And on an apparel store, sizing and returns are going to be the biggest objections. So I'm looking at this product, and it is not, even though I could sort by like how it's by who the vendor was, it does not tell me what this shirt is printed on. It does not tell me what this shirt is made out of. It doesn't tell me how the sizing works. And it doesn't tell me what happens if it doesn't fit. Those are like the most obvious objections you're going to get with purchasing apparel online. And for a store that is, out of figured it's got 7,500 products, I'm going to go ahead and guess that at least 5,000 are t-shirts.
Oh, you have no idea. If you click on novelties or whatever, there's 3,000 products there. And so, yeah, they also have, this, I'd love this red roundel tee that they're selling. I'd really like to buy that. I need a 2XL or a 3XL. They're both out of stock. And as we talked about before, if I try to select those sizings, it just does nothing. On OK Boomer, 3XL's out of stock. There's no back in stock form for me to fill out or anything. I'm probably not going to get this shirt.
Right.
Because they don't have it. I don't know if they're ever going to have it ever again.
Yeah, that's an easy... so far, the homepage, the navigation, I think they're tasked with an extremely difficult thing and did very well. The collection page is good. You think it's great. I think product filtered search app or some kind of filtering app would plus it. And then on the product detail page is where things a little bit fall on their face.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it's pretty much like, here's a shirt, buy it or don't.
Well, here I landed
like,
on. I switched to the red Roundel tee. I was on the OK Boomer tee before.
Yeah.
This one has a shorter logo, but a much more useful logo. It describes it like alt textile, red short sleeve tee with Roundel logo. All right, that's some SEO action. And then it says made by Gildan, 100% cotton. Okay, already that's more info than I had on the other one. So I think it's there. The issues we're seeing are just around, the sheer size of the product catalog.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know how they're set up, but I was like, again, is it hurting cats? Like there's 150 different merchandising people in 150 different cities across America who are uploading this all to this store?
Yes.
Or is there like, there isn't someone in St. Petersburg or whatever just being like, this is bad. We got to get all these. We're working on all of these.
So it's easy for us from the outside to say like, oh, just do this, just do that. But I think it's important to acknowledge the organizational difficulties that are behind those recommendations when you're dealing with what's essentially like a giant professional association that also happens to have an e-commerce store.
Yeah, this is like a marketplace site almost when you think about it.
Yeah. So,
and one more thing on this, like trust bar, we call these a trust bar.
The badges. It says secure checkout, friendly returns, fast shipping. That we call that the trust bar. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to know what friendly returns mean. I mean, you talked about it before.
Yeah.
I mean, if I buy that 2XL shirt and it's too small, how bad are you going to ding me?
For example, the phrase friendly returns could mean anything. As in, I ask to return it and you say, no, thank you. Like when my children were younger, they go, they ask them to do something. They go, no, thank you. And then when you got mad, they go, I use my manners. So you're right. So if you, that trust returns badge, it uses this gray color. It doesn't quite match the site. The whole thing is one big image. It's just a graphic for three things.
Oh, geez. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and I don't think it has alt text on it either, so not ideal for accessibility. Yeah. And actually, no, I'm sorry, it has an alt tag. The alt tag just says trust badge. Whoops.
All right, I take it back. We could have done a better job than these guys. Snow Commerce, we're coming for you.
Oh my gosh, take it back. I don't know. I'm not in a competition here. We're just add some alt text. They did the hard part, was figuring out how to do this menu. This trust badge feels, the way it's implemented feels like an afterthought, but it could be improved. What happens if I add to cart?
We got a modal cart that pops up.
Okay. And then it says...
That's fine.
It weirdly says you have one item in your cart, like dead center in the cart, and then it disappears on me. And my cart, the badge on the page didn't update so I click through, now I'm on the cart page.
Yeah, it doesn't Ajax the number of items in your cart.
Yeah. There's some other weird things that happen here in the cart. So it's they've got a note in here, have a discount code, continue to check out to redeem it. So that tells you that was like a customer service thing where people were confused and kept asking. We've got below that the Shopify default note, shipping and taxes calculated at checkout. Whenever I can, I remove this thing or replace it with like a free shipping calculator. I don't see anything on here about free shipping, what their free shipping threshold is. And it says checkout. I always rename this thing proceed to checkout because it's more accurate. And then underneath the checkout button, do you see this? It says shipping outside of the USA ? And then there's nothing there. It's just it's a rhetorical question. Shipping outside the USA? And then it's just like this orphan text. It's a little weird. So I don't know if that was supposed to be a link or what was supposed to go there.
Yeah, I don't know. That has a class on it called alt. So I don't know if that's like supposed to be connected to a button or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a little odd. And then there's the notes, they renamed it special delivery instructions or gift message. So I generally prefer to remove the notes, but if I have to include them, certainly I want to, instead of just having it be like, include a message, I want it to specify what the message is for. And they've done that. The only way I think to improve it a little more would be if it were like an accordion where I click that note to open the input box. Yeah, I view it as a distraction. I'd rather not have it.
So we click checkout.
In checkout, they put their logo in. Fantastic. They've got the express checkout stuff in here. Great. They don't require my phone number. They don't have the company field. Good. And then the continue to shipping button is a color I don't think the website uses.
Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more styling here. I mean, the big one is you got to get that logo up there because otherwise it's just like Helvetica font being like MiLB store. And like that doesn't give a lot of confidence. But yeah, I think the right rail, that gray area, they could make
the order summary field.
The order summary field, they could make that like the blue from the navigation or whatever. And then all of the buttons on the front end of the store were all red. So I feel like that continue to shipping button should also continue being red.
Well, you know what would be cool? The way I might do this is in that order summary, you do like a repeating graphic of like the logo badge graphic and do it like faded, so it's kind of like a watermark. It'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
A really good example of that is on Harney.com. They had like a monogram logo that they use on their gift wrap. And so I made that into a repeating pattern and put that in the order summary, and it's like real faded and subtle. It's very cool. I'm sure most people they just overlook it, but I see it and I love it.
And that's what matters.
Yes, of course. That's what you want to hear. Back on the homepage, scrolling through the homepage looks pretty good. The featured promo section, I think they did a really nice job on that, where it's like shop apparel, shop caps. They're kind of trying to divide me, steer me up. They've got their face masks as a featured thing. They've got trending products as pre-orders. I think that's great. They do something unusual. They have auctions on the site, and like right in here, it's like, oh, closes in. That's cool. That took some effort. But when you click through, it takes you off the Shopify store. It runs on its own thing, it looks like.
Oh, it goes to MiLB auctions, which has its own thing.
But knowing the disaster that was the previous online experience to this, I think they did a phenomenally good job with it. And there's just trying to deal with a catalog this huge is difficult.
Yeah. Huge upgrade from zero. If you click on go to the masks, click on like the Hillsboro Hops mask. I have a Hillsboro Hops shirt. That was one of the first ones I got. I love it.
I recognize it. You've worn that so much. It's got that, like the silk screening starting to crack. I'm very familiar with the Hops shirt.
The Hops product at least has a much better description.
Okay, so this does speak to the idea that their issues are just related to trying to deal with that huge catalog. And so I think, I don't think this is Snow Commerce. I think it's Snow Commerce said, hey, here's the right way to do it. And then it's up to MiLB to go through thousands of products and update them. So you're right. Looking at a new product, that it's got a nice description. The item number works. Okay, that's much better.
I didn't say it was Snow Commerce.
Well, you also declared that now we're in a battle.
We are.
Well, all right, fine. Then you could challenge them to a rap battle. I'm staying out of this.
They stole my dream. I just think MiLB is not well versed in having a well run single point of commerce for all their affiliates.
Right. And this is a huge upgrade for them. Anything else of note on this site before we wrap it up?
I don't think so.
Cool. All right. We'll end it there. If someone were to go buy a shirt, what would be the one you recommend?
Well, my favorite, I always like Monty Biscuit, who is the mascot of the Montgomery Biscuits. And I don't know if they have a Monty Biscuit shirt, but he's very silly. He's an anthropomorphic biscuit, and his tongue is made of butter. He's very happy. So I would get some Montgomery Biscuits gear. If you're a Simpsons fan, there's the Albuquerque Isotopes, who named themselves after the Simpsons episode where the Isotopes were going to move to Albuquerque. And they have a very 1950s atomic era logo. That's cool.
It is a lot of fun. And actually, walking around with you, many times people have, just total strangers have been like, I love that shirt when you're wearing your MiLB stuff.
Yes, it's cool. I think it's getting a little too far now, maybe. All team names are weird. And when all team names are weird, none of them are weird.
Well, it's niching down. You pick the one that speaks to your sense of humor, or you're a Simpsons fan, so you do the Isotopes, or you think the Biscuits are funny, which they are, so you get that, or the Hops because you're into beer. I think it's more just that hyper personalization that we see a lot of DTC brands doing now.
Yeah, it's like there's like the Rocket City Trash Pandas, and it's like a raccoon, and it's also like in a garbage can rocket ship.
I will
and
never
like, all right.
not laugh at referring to a raccoon as a trash panda. I think that's brilliant.
See, to me, I'm just like, all right, we've gone too far. Something's got to be nice.
Well, that's what the official gear is for. All right, we'll wrap it up there, Mr. Reda.